Hello, nice to be here. Lovely to see you all. And a big smile, thank you. Like always, I'm prepping things and then my guides change their minds in the last minute, which is perfectly fine. So today, I wanted to talk about self-love and love in general. And it become a bit of a mishmash, but hey, let's just go where it takes us. And as we were just singing the songs as well, as in like, count your blessings. And like so often, it's like when we count our blessings, do we count ourselves in the top 10? Do we count ourselves at all? We count our kids, we might count that I've still got a job nowadays. We count like if we've got a roof over our heads, all those kind of things. But where we actually count ourselves as the absolute blessing that we are. We see that in others, we see that in situations and people, especially those that we love, those that we care, the world that needs help and loving and care, which they do, the animals, nature, all of it. And us, we expect of ourselves to be that unlimited source of just pouring the love out, but we're not really paying too much attention to actually filling ourselves with it first. We always have, most of the time, have encouraging words for people that need it, and for people around us, for the kids, for everybody but us. And when we listen to our inner talk, we're not half as nice to ourselves as we are to everybody else. Even people that we don't know that well or might not even like that much, we're still nicer to them. And I know I'm generalizing right now, but if we really listen to how do we talk ourselves, I'm not good enough, I'm not tall enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not successful enough, I'm not lovable enough, I'm too big, I'm too short, I'm too thin, I'm too thick, whatever it might be. This is how we talk to ourselves. When there's big opportunities coming, or just any, even neutral opportunities, you go like, but who am I to think I can do that? Well, who are you not to think that you can not do it? There's this constant kind, and this is what the world is teaching us, or society, I should say. It's like, unless you do stuff and you show up and you be somewhere and you are being productive for others, for environments, for people and the roles we play, unless you're the perfect mom, you're not good enough. Unless you're the perfect employee, you're not good enough. Unless you're the perfect husband or wife, you're not good enough. Now, whatever it is, we start identifying through those roles that we are playing. And some of those roles are really, really important. Others not so much, but we're investing anyway. But we become those roles. And with that, all this love that we also are already, to start with, if you have a little child, they don't doubt that they love and that they're perfect. They go around and they're kind of like, I am, and why shouldn't I? This is the perfect state of being. When you ask them, why did you do this and that? Because. And it's the perfect answer. Because he or she can, and because he or she thought it feels right. And right now, this child was in the moment. We don't allow ourselves to do that. Yes, of course, and there's life to live and bills to pay and this and that. Yeah, there's all that stuff. But that's not who we are. That's what we invest in. With energy, with time, with our essence. What we're not doing is recharging us. Now, we're constantly trying to achieve the next thing, be in the next place, show up in the next place, be the next kind of person or rock or whatever the next person might need. We're never here because we're always chasing the next moment. Unless I achieve that, I'm not good enough, I don't earn enough, I'm not worthy enough, I will not be looked upon accordingly, I haven't made it, I'm a failure, I'm whatever, I'm not desirable enough, if I haven't lost 10 kgs, nobody will ever look at me again, daddy rhubarb. This is how we talk to ourselves. Yet when our loved ones come and they're kind of like, there's this job, but I'm not quite sure if I can make it. Gee, there comes the speech. Of course, you're awesome, you're fabulous. And there are. But why doesn't it apply to us? Where's this whole thing coming from? And again, if you count your blessings, do you count yourself? Are you even making the top 10? If you sometimes are in a space where you can't see on yourself on the first spot on the list, that's still understandable here and there because we have to deal with stuff by all means. But are you on your list? 99% of the people that I deal with, work with, including myself, we're all human, don't worry. It's like, if you can count your blessings, they'll give you everything. Everything. It's like, and who makes it all possible? Oh yeah, because of the job that I have this, like, no, it's you. It's you. Can't you see who you are? Now, the whole thing of like we have to prove something to be justified to be here is something that society puts in just to keep us productive because it works for them. But that's not who we are. We don't have anything to prove. We're here. Alone the fact that we're here means we somehow made the cut. One way or the other, the proof is in the pudding. We are here. Nothing to prove anymore, nothing to justify, nothing to over-explain. I'm here. I somehow made it. I might not quite know what my portfolio is, but I'm here. That is not up for discussion. So I wouldn't be here if the universe wouldn't decide it's a good idea. It's that simple. But now I'm worried what Tom, Dick, and Harry says, if they agree if I'm here or not. Why does that matter? The universe decided it's a really great idea to have Heike here. So, hell, I'll go with the universe. 2, 3 other people being on a different journey, still being part of the whole thing, because they needed to be there just as much as I needed to be there, and you, and all of us. We don't need to justify why we're here. Are we here to learn and do the best we can be and be for the best for others? Yeah. But it's like if you have like one of the Swiss clock thingies that they always have, there's like a million little pieces in there. Take the tiniest piece out, this whole clock is done. What if it was you, that piece? And we keep on only looking at the other pieces. Because the other pieces are obviously the bigger pieces, so they must be worth more. They must be doing the bigger job. No matter how big or small the other pieces are, they can't work without you in it. It does not matter. But this is not what we're looking at. We're looking at the others. We're looking on the outside. We don't look at the inside. And then we're surrounded by people and we have busy lives and we're chasing our tails and all of that. But you know what? Even if our life is full, how many of us are still alone? Why? We feed the outside. And lots of us exclusively feed the outside. I'm not saying you can't also feed it, but if this is exclusively what we're here for, no wonder we keep on moving the bar with what is our balance. Nowadays, it's completely acceptable that everybody has insomnia, is either depressed or has anxieties and some kind of tranquilizers, or even the kids. That's normal because we moved the bar to that instead of saying, no, normal is balance. Normal is healthy. Normal is like being in the here and now. That is spiritually normal because that's your natural state of being. Again, if you take the little kids, they don't question that. They really don't question it. They don't care if it's 7 o'clock in the evening or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Ice cream is ice cream and sounds like a good idea. They don't worry about we should, we could, we not. And I'm not saying those roles aren't important. They are part of our journey. They are not the journey. We are the journey. We feed it all and make it about the stuff and people and environments around us. That's back to front. Because if you feed the source, which is you, all of us are source because we're part of the source. That makes us automatically source. Again, it's kind of like, oh, am I enough? What else but source can we possibly be? We are already on the top of the list. If we see it or not, it's a different story. But we are part of source. So there's nothing to do here on that level. There's nothing to establish, to kind of like double check, to get a certificate, to get a stamp, to get anything. We are source, full stop. We are here, fact. So that we don't have to look at, but this is what we're chasing, some kind of approval. We don't need approval. That's optional. That is absolutely optional. And there's billions of people, and not everybody going to like you. And that's okay, because it's part of your journey. Stick to those that do, and they will change too. That's fine too. Journey. It's not stagnation, it's journey, it's a movement. Then we set ourselves up in certain kind of like relationships, if it's work or in other ways, in financial things, and this and that, and like, I made my bed, I have to lay in it. No, you don't. You don't. I'm not saying some beds might need some adjustment here or there, but it does not mean that you have to stick to the one bed that you once decided to lay in. If we would still do that, we would still all sleep in caves. It makes no sense. The whole, not just as we develop and we grow. The whole thing's about growth. So how can we grow and still remain in the same space? But we hold ourselves to that. And then we think it's horrible when people say, but you changed. Thank goodness, something moved. If I don't change, it doesn't mean good or bad. If I don't change, it means I never ever learn. Nothing ever got added on, taken away, shifted, moved, up or down, doesn't matter. If I'm the same that I would have been when I was 5, I don't think I would be pretty. Apparently I was quite a brat. So we had to learn, and that's fine. We don't have to apologize when we outgrow people or places. It's simply growth. It's not good, it's not bad, it just is. We're not internally responsible for everybody outside of us and everything outside of us. And yes, sometimes that includes family. Family brings the biggest lessons to us. It's easier to say, like, no, that doesn't work for me if it's a colleague or something. It's another thing if it's like, I don't know, your mother, your brother, whoever it might be. It's kind of like, but they're family. Yeah, they're family. It does not mean they have carte blanche. Growth is growth is growth. It does not mean because I'm a sister or a daughter or a wife or a friend that I now have to put my journey in the back pocket and exclusively only focus on yours. But that's what we do. Once I'm done working and I go in retirement, I will have a life. Great, what happened with the other 60 years? Well, who lives that life in the meanwhile? But then you most likely worked yourself to a standstill, and your body is not going to be that happy about it anymore. So you're already going to have a restricted platform of options. So, and then there are, after 60 years in retirement, and they don't know what to do with themselves because all they know is that they identified themselves through their jobs, through their business, through their role. And that role is now gone. And we have no idea who we are beyond that. Because 90% of it was invested in that. And we defined ourselves through that. It is a role. That's all it is. It's like a jersey, it's like a jeans, it's like a pair of shoes. You can change that. But most of all is we pay way too much importance to that than to ourselves. If we're going to feed all those roles, if we are in the middle of all of that, wouldn't it make sure to make very, very, very sure that we are fully charged, that we fully filled up, that we can actually give all of that? Why are so many people sick nowadays from mentally, which I mean anxiety, those kind of things, to like every second person has tummy-related stuff going on? Why? From irritable bowel syndrome to you name it. This is all, it's too much for us to digest, yet we carry on doing what we're doing. Every second person also got back problem. Too many burdens to carry. Who put them there? We did. Nothing around us can exist unless we create, feed, or allow it. Because this is our power. We are the power, but we're looking for it outside. We're giving it away. And then we hope we get some of it back. It doesn't work like that. Well, it does work like that. It's not healthy, though. If I would say you have 100% of power or energy, however you want to refer to it, every morning, what's the percentage that you're using for yourself and what's the percentage that everybody else gets? I promise you, you're putting about 99% out and it's gone by lunchtime. Then what? We're out of energy. Nothing runs without energy. Then we have two more options to get more energy. One is either from other people, but normally those that give don't take, so that is already out. And then the only other option is our cell system. Now, our cell system can do that for a little while if there is circumstances or there's trauma or there is it can do that. It can compensate for that for a little while. But a few years later, it can't do that anymore. This is where cancer is coming from. We don't live ourselves, we live outside of us. Cancer eats yourself up from the inside out. Why? Because that's what you're doing. And I'm not saying that, and my guides are not coming to it to hammer you, but I have very direct guides. So, I don't know, it must be the German connection here. So, the picture is about, it is not just, I have a little nap in the afternoon and I'm going to feel better. It goes way beyond that. It goes way beyond that. If you can't fully invest into yourself, if you can't love yourself, warts and all, the plus, the minus, the ups and the downs, when you're in a good mood and when you want to bite somebody's head off, it's all you. If you can't love that, how can you genuinely and truly love somebody unconditionally outside of yourself? Then it's hypothetically speaking, I love them truly. Not that I really know what it feels like because I'm not applying it to myself. There's days that I like myself better than others, by all means we have that. But do you have really days where you fully and truly embrace yourself? Fully. That's difficult. But we've also been told it's selfish if we do that, if we spend time with ourselves. And selfish is in my mind, one of the most dangerous words that's being used for emotional blackmail. How is it selfish if you secure the source? Isn't it a win-win-win? But now we put the word selfish to it. You take time out, or you meditate, or you go for a walk, and whatever. It's like, oh, she should have rather played with the kids for an hour. Really? Don't you think the kids are going to benefit, the whole family going to benefit 10 times more if they have a chilled mom or dad, whatever it might be? No, we don't take the right to love ourselves. We don't give permission to ourselves to love ourselves because we think we owe it to people around us. Are they important? Yes, lots of them are. Are they playing a big part? Yes, by all means. But nothing can exist. Anything you feed into cannot exist if you don't feed it. So why would you not want to secure the resource, which is you? And not just you physically. Oh, I made it. I got up this morning so I can actually serve another day other people. Yeah, that's one part. That's the shell. So it's kind of like the vehicle makes it another day. How about the content? Do we have the right fuel? We keep on filling other people's vehicles and journeys. And as much as it's nice to support people, supporting is not wrong, but walking for them is a different story. And it's a thin line, and we can get caught in it very, very quickly. By all means, and we mean well, and it comes from the right space, but who walks your journey in the meanwhile when you're busy walking everybody else's? Where's that going? And then we find ourselves in a spot where we are deeply unhappy, yet we ticked all the outside boxes. Because the outside boxes are not going to bring you the inside balance. They can add on to it. And yes, sometimes some of them don't just add on, they take away from it as well. But we know who saps and what saps us and what not. Yet we're still accommodating it. We're giving permission. What we're saying is like, you needing my energy, even though I don't think it's a good idea, is more important than me being in balance. Impossible. It's not maintainable in any way or form. So when we come to the whole, like, also the second song that we sang earlier on was like, I walk alone in the garden. Do we ever walk alone? And I mean alone consciously, in awareness. Not like there's no people around. Actually consciously connected with our senses. Or we're just going to, let me get out before I start killing somebody. And we all have those moments, by all means. We're human, that's part of it. Let's embrace them. That's okay. As long as we don't act on them fully, we're good. Every feeling has its place. We can't just have the mushy, nice ones, cloudy and fluffy ones. We are human beings. Everything exists in duality. As much as we love people, as often we sometimes want to bite their heads off. How we act on it is a different story, but then we feel guilty about having felt that way. Why? Why do we only want to embrace what we perceive good sides? That's not how this journey works. We have so many attachments and belief systems that we keep ourselves prisoners to that. So this whole thing is about bring it back in. Energy and love is an inside-out job, not an outside-in job. You can only give what you bring to the party. And you can only bring to your party what you filled up with. It's nice to fill others up, but if it doesn't stay long and long in your vessel that you are, you're always going to run on empty. Who wins? No one. You don't win, they don't win, the universe doesn't win. That clockwork, Swiss clock or not, is going to stop. Because it cannot exist without you specifically being that specific part in this universe in this lifetime. You got to be there. You're part of the whole kind of mechanism. And it doesn't matter how big or small you think you are part of that mechanism. And it's very often when things like that go wrong, it's the smallest part that causes the ripple effect. It's hardly ever the big bolts going first. They go last. But they go. Why? Because a little screw got out of place. And that's us. And if it doesn't matter how big or small we think we are there, for a very, very specific reason. And sometimes it's hard for us to see that, but we need to start feeding here and not just outside ourselves. We can't exclude ourselves of something that we want to give in abundance because we think we're not worthy or we're not important enough or just not enough as such. And we believe that everybody else and everything else around us is more worthy. Now, the good thing about the belief system is it's really just a repeated thought. We put it there. Where other people think the sun shines out of certain body parts, others go like, oh my God, no matter what, I will never make it. And the only difference is the belief system. They're not one bit better or worse than anybody else. They're just as important as anybody else, but the belief system is different. What that means is they told themselves a different story in their head till it became their reality. They trained their brain. They brainwashed themselves into it. Let's put it that way. So some it comes quite easily, but just as easily does it go on the other side, on the negative side, that we're not good enough and all of that. Now, having said that, since we created that belief system, we can undo it. It's literally brainwash yourself into what you do want to believe instead of investing in what you don't want to believe. Invest in what you do want to feel instead of what you don't want to feel. And not how the people around you want to feel. They're going to benefit anyway. The better the place that you are in, the more balanced that you are, the happier that you are, the higher the frequency you have, that's what you bring the party. That's what everybody's going to absorb from you anyway. So we've got to look at bringing the love back to us, that we can give it. But we can't just be the halfway station for the love. Fill up, out, fill up, out, fill up, out. We don't even fill up, it just goes through. And then we feel disconnected, we're not grounded. Besides that, our brain is not always our biggest friend when we are in places like that. It can be a real bugger. And this is what we need to consciously retrain ourselves. So with this whole talking to ourselves, and actually the talking to ourselves is the words that we are using is creating our reality. If it's in our head or if it's loud, it doesn't matter. The words shape our reality. People that know who they are and what they want and where they're going, they don't go like maybe, if, I should, and one day I might. They make statements. I am, it is. Why? Because that is creating their reality. It's the statements they're making about themselves. So things like, I am a good psychic medium. Why? Because I think I am. Are there better ones? I'm not saying there aren't better ones, but I think I'm good. Now people are going to go like, oh God, she's full of herself. And that's when I normally say, well, that's perfect. I would hate to be full of everybody else. At least I know how this one works. But why is it wrong to be full of yourself? The problem is we're too full of everything else but us. So people telling me I'm full of myself, I love it. Biggest compliment ever. I'm doing something right, and they just recognize that. So hopefully it shakes something up. And this is who we are. We need to be full of ourselves. As full as possible. 24/7. And it's got nothing to do with cocky or arrogant. If you don't know your worth, you can't spread it. And you can't instill it in others, and you can't bring it out in others. We're not here to play ourselves constantly small and dim our light. For whom or what? It makes no sense. Every morning we wake up and we try to bring the best in the way we know and to whom we know. But let's include ourselves. Because you go down, everything goes down. And you start every party you go to. That's that simple. So make sure you like the theme that you bring in. Because that's actually who we are. So let me just check what time, because oh gosh, okay, let me close this up. So, let's be full of ourselves. Let's be not selfish, but self-wish. Because if we can't wish the best for ourselves and create it, if we don't know what it smells like, looks like, feels like, then we can't recreate it for others. So let's have a laugh, be selfish, and let's be full of ourselves. Thank you.